Friends and family, thank you so much for joining. Every day is a Saturday with your host, me, myself, and I, Brian Roof. Hey, today we got a special guest. His name is Jesse. He's going to be joining us on the Throwback Thursdays. He's also a United States Marine veteran. Totally excited to have him on. He is, into retro games and stuff like that with the things that we all grew up on. He has some really cool stuff. He's done some really great things on TikTok. What's up, Jesse? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me as a guest. It's such an awesome opportunity. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you taking your time to join us, dude. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's Jesse. As you know, also former Marine. I joined the Marine Corps in 2001 as a reservist. I was supposed to just stay home, do my 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. But unfortunately got sent over to Iraq in 04 and 05 for OIF 2 and 3. And then came back, became a deputy for 13 years. So I was a cop for 13 years, did some awesome stuff there. Did SWAT team stuff, was a sniper on our SWAT team.
Wow.
Now I moved over into security for a large corporation. And during that time, I got to playing these retro games on TikTok, kind of just as almost as a joke.
Yeah.
And I absolutely fell in love with it. Started out 0 viewers, 0 likes, all that good stuff. But like a snowball going down the hill, we picked up a lot of followers and met some amazing people in this TikTok community doing what I love, playing these old school games. All these old Throwback Thursday, old style games are my favorite. They hit all those nostalgic, feel good spots in your brain. And it's just been awesome. We've been able to do a lot of good with that. We've been able to give away 10 Nintendo Switches to some
That's outstanding, man.
members of our community. It's been amazing. I always want to be in that position to bless other people. And, we finally had that opportunity, and it's been great.
That's outstanding, man. Great. So how are we going to do this, man? I think what we kind of do is we just go through the different consoles each week, and you guys can kind of follow along. I mean, for Jesse and I, we're both born in 81, right? You were born in 81 as well?
That's correct. Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Wow. Okay. So, yeah, I was born in April. So, all right, man, that's awesome. But, yeah, so we're going to kind of I think how we'll go, guys, is we'll kind of go through the different consoles. We'll start off with like Atari, probably work our way through the Nintendo, through the Super Nintendo, the Segas. I mean, how technology just kept going. And I mean, I'm still playing today, at 41 years old, about to be 42, man. I definitely still enjoy jumping on. I got my specific game types that I like, but definitely still, jumping on.
All right. When you got your Atari, what games did you like playing on Atari?
You know what? It was a lot of there was the little battleship game that I used to play. I can't remember the exact name. There was like the centipedes and all those little, the little ship games that you sit there and Galagas and
right,
all that fun stuff, man. Because my dad was a huge Galaga fan. I mean, anytime we used to go to the arcade, my dad would be over there just sweating away on the Galaga machine, trying to get the top score.
Right. My brother was a big Galaga fan, and he was way better at it than I was. But he was really good. And then a guy showed us this trick. You ever know this trick about Galaga? If you stay in the right-hand corner for like 15 minutes, the ship stops shooting at you, and you can just play through the whole game without the ship shooting back at you, the enemy ships.
Oh, sheesh, man. That's a little cheat code.
I never knew that until he showed us that. He showed us that when I was like, I don't know, maybe 9, 10 years old, and I never forgot it.
Yeah, that's something also fun to probably talk about on this show is all the different little cheat things. Like, I remember Contra. There was like up, down, up, down, left, right, A, B select start or something like that. Yeah. I don't remember what it was.
The Konami code.
That stuck with me forever.
Left, right, BA select start.
There you go. Yeah, see?
Never forget it.
Yeah. And then on the, and then you start finding out in the Mario worlds that you can, jump up and go all the way to the top and then go into the different tunnels and, warp into different levels. And Man.
Right. I was actually just playing Super Mario World on TikTok, and that's not like my best game, but obviously everyone played it as a kid on Super Nintendo. But it's funny how I haven't played it in months, but I still remember all this stuff about the game, all the secrets and tips, and it's something like I call Mario Instinct. Like, oh, what's up here? Oh, a secret. So,
Yeah. What are your favorite games, man, from back in the old days?
well, I started out on Nintendo.
Is
It was
that
kind
okay?
of weird because Atari came before Nintendo, but I grew up on a Nintendo, and then I got my Atari like a couple of years after that.
Okay.
So, obviously Super Mario was a huge influence on my life. I beat Super Mario when I was 7 years old, which I've been a gamer my entire life. Literally, I'm 41 years old, and I never remember not playing video games. So,
Right. Yeah.
but if you told me I'd be 41 years old playing video games on TikTok doing live streams, I'd have laughed at you because it seems good. But it's something I still enjoy doing, and I actually get to do some good out of it now. What I like to call gamers doing good. We get to give back to the community and show people, hey, look, we're not just some people in our parents' basement, sweating out the newest game. We can actually go out and do something positive for someone. That's how I
Right.
end my live stream. Every time I do a live stream, I say, please go out and do something positive for someone. You never know
That's
how
great.
they change their day. You never
Yeah.
know how it may change their life. So,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right, man. Yeah, you know what? I think a lot of people don't realize, and I know sometimes a lot of wives get mad at their husbands, or the girlfriends get mad at the boyfriends for playing.
right.
But you got to look at the positive side. They are building some friendships, whether you like it or not, and they're not out there doing something crazy, right? I mean,
Exactly.
and they're probably getting a little bit of a headspace, a free headspace for a little bit, a couple hours. But I mean, I've met some guys on Call of Duty that I like them. I mean, we play all the time, and when we get on, and even if we don't touch bases in a while, we get on. We're like, hey, what's going on, man? So we've really made some, and we've never met each other. And they're guys from Florida, and I'm in California. I mean, we're all over the place. So gaming has its unique way of bringing people together too, and in a diverse group of way too, because all we're doing is listening to each other's voices. There's no body type. There's no color. There's nothing involved there. It's just
Right.
a friendship, yeah, there's some really cool guys that I would love to meet that I play with, on a pretty consistent basis.
I actually got to do that one time. Way back in the day, back in Call of Duty Black Ops days, I had a core group of friends that I would play with, and there was this guy named Mike. He was way younger than us, but he was super talented gamer, and we literally gamed together for like a decade. I mean, it was crazy how long we played together. And he was all the way across the country. I'm in Georgia. He was in North Dakota. And one day I made a trip over to Cali to San Francisco. And he happened to be doing a trip with a friend to San Francisco as well. He's like, dude, we got to hang out. We've been friends forever on Call of Duty. Let's hang out. And we actually hung out in person, had a few adult beverages, and just talked about some good times. It was awesome.
That is great. Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. You never know, how close of a friendship you're actually going to gain from these guys. You just, it's funny. You'll be playing in a random, game, and then you get some randoms, and some of them you hit it off with them, and then some of them are, oh shoot, I got to mute this guy.
Exactly.
But gaming it's no matter how old you are, it is a lot of fun, man. And it is some ways that you can, be on the same playing field with someone, even if they're not your age. It's a way to bring, two different genres together and them just, hit it off because they have a joy for playing the game or whatnot.
Right. Just like in the Marine Corps, you all may not look the same or be the same, but you all come together with a common goal and you work together as a team. It just creates this bond that
Right.
is unlike anything else. And, even though it's silly to say, you do build that bond in the gaming world. Because there's guys that I look forward to playing with all the time. We laugh, we joke, we make fun of each other. You got to have thick skin around some of these guys,
Yeah, for sure.
You're right.
To be a Marine, you definitely got to have some thick skin, man.
Absolutely.
You're definitely getting get your balls busted a little bit.
Oh yeah, well that's part of it. You know, if you didn't break each other's balls, that means we didn't like you. So
right, exactly. Yep, it's definitely a bond that some people don't understand. It's like, my wife, she'll hear me talking to some of my Marine buddies sometimes, and she's like, you guys talk really rough. I'm like, yeah, that's just how we talk. Yeah. We love each other.
Yeah, that's my boy.
We're brothers. Yeah, like, don't you worry. We're not, we may be, it may sound like it's, violent and stuff like that, but we're having a good time. So, hey, while you were in the Marines, man, did you have any consoles in your, foot locker? I mean, your locker?
It's funny. After boot camp, went over to El Paso, Texas to do my MOS training. I was 7212, which is a Stinger missile gunner, low altitude air defense technically. But we shot Stinger missiles at low flying aircraft and helicopters. And while we were stationed in El Paso, my roommate, he went and bought a PlayStation 2 and a bunch of games. And, that's how we killed time in the barracks is, we'd play whatever the latest game was on PlayStation 2. Not really a lot of retro video games back then, but a lot of games like Medal of Honor was a big one. Obviously, anything war related or, Marines got to play.
I did forget about Medal of Honor, but yeah, bro, that was big back then.
The one that had like the D-Day scene, like Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
That was an awesome game. And
those were good, man. Those were good, like, first person. Well, actually, I think it was even a third person shooter at that time. I'm not sure or was it only first person? I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Third
person came out a bit later.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely not as advanced as it was today, but it was a great kickoff point for shooters and games of that nature. And,
right.
It actually had some computer AI, which was really cool because we figured out if you threw a grenade at an enemy, he would pick it up and then you would shoot him in the shoulder and he would be injured from the shot and then the grenade would explode and we'd all laugh hilariously.
Yeah. And man, I mean, for that back then, that's pretty good though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was a big deal.
It really was.
But yeah, I remember even being in Iraq, we had one of the PlayStation 2 Slims set up on a Humvee and we were playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Nice. Yeah, I had a PlayStation 2, and what we would do is we played a lot of NCAA, the college football game.
Yes.
And we would have like little tournaments and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then we got into Madden too, and we would set up we'd have little, tournaments and stuff like that in different rooms and stuff like that. We made a lot of fun with it, man. Video games are a great way to pass time. I mean, you could be on that video game and like 5 hours is gone. You're like, oh my gosh, bro. Like,
right.
I wasted the whole day.
Especially when you're overseas, you already got enough to worry about, with indirect fire, your family, you're not being able to see or talk to them when you want to. And, just hanging out with your boys and playing some games and talking trash on a NCAA football. I mean, that's a great time. It's a great way. It
really is. And I mean, I don't know how many fights I've almost gotten into playing those games, man. Because the shit talking gets to that below the belt level sometimes when you're beating a motherfucker's ass on the game, and he just starts talking that real shit.
Exactly. Or the reverse of that, you're talking shit to the opponent. And they're way better than what you expected, and they kind of put you in your place. They humble you a little bit. So.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, why aren't you talking now, bro?" And like,
yeah, man, this controller's broken.
Yeah, like, man, my stick is sticking, bro. Like,
exactly.
Oh man, yeah, I love video games though. I think, like I said, it's a great outlet for a lot of people. I know some people look down upon it and talk trash on it, but. Say what you want. Typically, if you're the one talking trash, you're not familiar and you probably haven't, you're not sitting down playing the game and getting that feel, because a lot of times it's more than just the game you're playing. Sometimes it's the relationships you form, and with the guys that you're on. And And a lot of them look forward to that. Oh, he's on. All right, cool. Like,
Exactly.
let me invite him. I love it, man. I think it's fun. And like, I've met some of like I said, some of the coolest cats on there, and I would be friends with them outside of the game.
Absolutely. And like I said, it goes back to what we're trying to do with our TikTok giveaways. We already met our goal of giving away the 10 Nintendo Switches. So next we're going to focus on veteran charities.
Wow.
So I have another awesome friend on TikTok. His name is Booney Veteran. He's one of the guys that really showed me that you could stream retro video games on TikTok. I kept seeing his name pop up, and he was playing one of my favorite games, Super Mario Brothers 3, which is my all-time favorite game.
Yeah.
And I noticed his name said veteran. And I was like, oh, cool. This is a veteran playing video games. I'm a veteran. I love playing video games. So got to watching him, and I said, you know what? I'm going to give this a try. And as the viewers and followers started building up, and we were able to make money through TikTok gifts and donations and things of that nature. And I was like, this feels weird. I'm playing a video game and people are watching me. They're giving me money. Let's take this money and do something good with it. So we're doing those giveaways. We had some friends that needed some help. We're in some bad situations. We helped out friends. We've done the giveaways. I know Booney Veteran has donated thousands of dollars to
wow.
veterans. I mean,
that's a blessing, man. What a blessing.
It's 100% a blessing.
Yeah. Golly.
To be able to do something I love to do and make an impact on other people, just been amazing. And, it's so funny because I found out that same guy I'm talking about, Booney Veteran on TikTok, we were in Iraq during the same exact time.
And I was, when were you over there actually?
04 and 05 for OIL.
Okay, so yeah, I was actually on my way out. So, but it's just crazy. We're all, it's funny that we're all like reconnecting. You're born in 81. I didn't even know when I actually approached you to bring you onto the Throwback Thursday segment that you were a Marine. And then I started watching through some of your videos, and I could see like back there, I see a flag back there. I could catch it. I could only see a little part of it, but the Marine in me knows that's a Marine flag. So,
right.
I was like, oh, damn. It just made it like even the whole situation even better, bro. Cause I was like, oh man. Cause I know, when it comes to veterans, and it's not, no offense to anybody else, but when it comes to veterans, man, we just have a click, no matter what. We could be from different eras, different walks of life, but as soon as we find out, especially Marine to Marine, it's different relationship that a lot of people just don't know about. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when I talked to you, bro, it was like it was going to be a quick call. There ain't no quick calls with us, right?
It was like talking to a brother, right? I mean,
yeah, dude, we totally knew each other, and that's the great part about this, man, is that, reconnecting with brothers and sisters and forming back relationships that we felt like we may have lost. I know that ever since I've kind of started doing this podcasting thing too, and even just getting on TikTok, actually, when I started TikTok around 2020 timeframe, because around the whole, when the COVID thing and they started shutting shit down, started finding something to do, man, started kind of looking at videos. My kid had been talking about it. And then I ended up starting like getting and doing videos myself. But then I started realizing, man, there's a whole community of veterans and everybody else out there, which, man, it just made it so much better because I started reconnecting with all kinds of guys. And it's funny because I even actually reconnected with a gunnery sergeant that I was actually out there with. He was he was a comm controller in the Middle East over there. And that's the first time we met was over there. And then here he is coming through my TikTok, and I was like, is that Gunny O? Oh my gosh, no shit. And so it was really cool, man. I mean, it is so cool, the reconnecting of just, meeting all their friends. And even like I said, doing this, being able to get you guys on the show, have you guys talk and bring out your experiences. It's great, man.
Right. It's been absolutely amazing. So like you said, I've reconnected with other Marines who I haven't seen in years, but, we reconnect on TikTok as well. So
that's great, man. Awesome. That's kind of, I think technology in some ways good, and in some ways it's not so good. But, the good part is now we can reconnect with a lot of people that we never used to be able to. I know when I went to boot camp and all that stuff, So I don't know, I didn't really, keep in touch with a lot of guys after boot camp right off rip because we just didn't have cell phones, and we may have had some pagers, and I mean, cell phones may have started, but we weren't all into like the social media. And it was like at that level of when you used to text back then, it was like 10 cents a text or something. So it was like, hey bro, stop texting me, call me,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I boycotted that as well. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
And getting back to the whole video game world, I gotta say I appreciate them bringing back the Nintendo consoles, and they loaded up with all the games and stuff like that. We bought one, and my gosh, man, just getting back on that, playing some Mario Brothers again, that was so fun. I love that they're making it, and they even have those like the regular old arcade games like that now. Like I've seen you playing on them with, you're playing what is it, Killer Instinct on that, and
yeah. Well, actually, I got an arcade 1-up. I've been obsessed with arcade games since I was a little kid.
Right.
And I always said, when I got financially able, I'm gonna make a game room of my own of old school arcades that I grew up with.
That's badass.
So, I was able to get this arcade 1-up of my favorite fighting game, Killer Instinct. It has Killer Instinct 1, Killer Instinct 2, and like 3 different versions of the game Battletoads, which was
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been an absolute banger of a arcade. I get my favorite fighting games. I get Battletoad. It has online. So I've met people on my TikTok live stream who saw me playing the game, and now we're friends because we play Killer Instinct together on the arcade. So just
that's
a different
so cool,
way to
man.
connect with people. So, but yeah, the Switch.
So that 1-up, whatever, it has the ability to get online and stuff like that. You could play against other players.
Yeah, I can play Killer Instinct with people all over the world.
Damn,
if they have the arcade 1-up, that is.
That's badass, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And so, do you have the ability to download other games on there, or is what you get on it?
Well, what you get is what you get on that. People do modifications to these arcade 1-ups. They do things like put retro pies in them and put thousands and thousands of arcades on them.
Yeah, because I've seen them where they've had like 20 plus games or something like that.
Oh, you can literally get 50,000 or more with some of these processors and some of the cards and ROMs and things of that nature. I'm not a super tech savvy guy.
Yeah.
But people who buy a lot of these arcade 1-ups, they want to tinker with them. They want to do modifications, and a lot of people do things like that. But straight out of the box at the factory, this is hard to beat. It takes you about an hour and a half to put it together, and you have a realistic arcade experience right in your own home. I can't say enough good things about it, but I'm obsessed with arcades.
Yeah. I've been looking at getting one of them myself. I'm kind of like you, man. I would like to have a room set up with a whole bunch of little arcade games. Right. I loved it. So let me ask you, Jesse, what is your absolute favorite console of all time?
Probably.
And it's rough, I know, because the new stuff it looks so realistic. But let's take all that aside, and like, what do you remember? Like, what console do you think absolutely was your favorite?
For me, my favorite console of all time was my Sega Dreamcast. That was 99 of 99 that I got my Sega Dreamcast. I got it the day it was released in America.
Dreamcast didn't last long, I feel like, in terms of competing with other consoles.
It didn't last long, but, the brightest flames burn quickest. To me, it was the best of its time, not only for the games, but you also had the online capabilities. I could use it to surf the internet. It had a 56K modem on it. That was unheard of at the time. But the graphics, the games, Crazy Taxi, Resident Evil Code Veronica, Tony Hawk Underground 1, 2, 3.
Those Tony Hawk games were, those were something else.
And the Sega sports games like NFL 2K. There was just so many awesome.
There was a Joe Montana.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah. I think mine was Sega. Just in general, I love Sega. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right.
There was hockey games that I actually loved and enjoyed.
See, when I think of my consoles, I think of them as eras. And in those
Yeah.
early eras, obviously everyone started out Nintendo, Atari, the Odyssey, ColecoVision, something of that nature. And for me, it was, let's say, the first wave is Nintendo. Second wave, I had my Super Nintendo, but I liked the Sega better. The Sega Genesis was great as far as the sound capabilities, in my opinion, and it didn't censor their video games. And I hate censorship. I think you should be able to say and do whatever as long as it's not violating any laws. But I still remember like the blood code for Mortal Kombat, ABACABB. I put that code in a million times on the
Yeah.
Sega Genesis, and
Yeah.
I'll never forget it. But during that time, I also had something called a TurboGrafx 16, which wasn't that big in America.
Yeah,
but
never heard of those.
in Japan, it was called a PC Engine, and it was a console that took these credit card looking games. It was like a flat looking credit card. It's almost like what you put in the Nintendo Switch, but credit card size. And it ran off those games. And I had a cousin of mine who had one who gave it to me for Christmas. It had 28 games. It was just an awesome experience. But I was the only kid I knew who had one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I never heard of them.
yeah,
for sure.
And let's say next era, definitely my Sega Dreamcast, PlayStation 2 came in. I skipped over PlayStation 1. I love my PlayStation 1. Didn't like the Nintendo 64 all that much.
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
I used to be a big PlayStation fan, and they lost me at PlayStation 2. And where they lost me is I was a huge Madden fan, right?
Yes.
Big Madden fan, and the gameplay that they came out with, I think it was PlayStation 2. One of the Maddens that came out with, I was just so disappointed with it. I was like, man, I love this game, and it was just not the gameplay wasn't right. So then I switched over to the Xbox, and I mean, I remember switching over to Xbox, and I know anybody that probably did the first time, you get this big old controller now. You're used to, the smaller ones, and then you go over to the Xbox, bro, you're like, oh shit. It's something to kind of get used to. And at first it does feel kind of weird and funky.
Right.
But once I went Xbox, I never ended up looking back, man. I never went back to PlayStation. They just couldn't.
The same exact thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
After PlayStation 2, I never had a PS3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah,
I've had all generations of Xbox, from the OG Xbox up to the I don't have the latest Xbox, the Series X.
Yeah, I don't have the new one yet either, but because I mean, I'm kind of one of those persons. Like, if mine's not really breaking or nothing like that, I'm not having a lot of lag issues. I'm not going to trip, go spend another $500-$600 or whatever it is. I think it's probably down to $300 by now, but still, it's just an additional cost. Don't really have to go do.
I tell you though, the one thing that I slept on is the Nintendo Switch. I don't know if they didn't market it properly to me, but what the Nintendo Switch does, and its compact design, and the way you can play it on the TV and just immediately pick it up off the docking station, and you have like the best handheld ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such amazing technology, the graphics, the sound, everything is amazing.
Oh, yeah, man. My kids got one. We'd be playing that Mario Kart, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's the other great part. It's got the old school games, man. I mean,
I love it. They just dropped the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance.
yeah, I can't believe that. Dude, awesome. I mean,
I'm sorry. What's cool for me is I have a 4-year-old, and I get to reintroduce these games to him because obviously he wasn't around when they came out, but he's already addicted to WarioWare Inc., Super Mario Land and the 6 Golden Coins, the Tetris games, and, the versions of Mario Kart on there. So it's just been absolutely awesome to introduce my 4-year-old to what I grew up playing.
hold on, man. We had a couple technical issues. All right, we're back. All right. But yeah, dude, I mean, I don't know. The games, the Switch is something that I'm having a lot of fun with. I had to get the extra controller though to kind of put it in there because my big old fingers and stuff like that. It is a small controller, dude, when you're trying to use a little small thing. But it is a lot of fun, and it is a lot of fun for all the family. It's a great console for all the family to do. You can play like with four people.
Nintendo's always
at a time.
done a great job with that as far as the family unit, friends units. You can all join in, but also casual gamers. You don't have to be an expert gamer to pick up a Switch game. But you can still have fun even if you are an expert player. So they really balance that really well. But the shareability, that's why when I started doing the console giveaways, I'm like, the Switch is a perfect console. We can get online. We can build a community of people. I meet the people on TikTok, and now we're playing games together on the Switch. I mean, what's better than that? So
that's great. Yeah. Now you're also connecting with the people. So, I mean, that's even cooler, man. I mean, I know a lot of people like it when they feel that, you're kind of making more of a friendship with them and versus like, just hey, thanks for watching, type of deal.
Oh, yeah.
That's great, man. You're definitely finding a way to connect with your community in more ways than one.
Well, I'll tell you something.
That's great.
That TikTok doesn't know. A lot of my community members don't know this, but when I first started live streaming on TikTok, I wasn't in a good space as far as my mental health. We always have issues, depressions, and things of that nature. And I was in like a dark space myself. But when I would get on and I would stream to my TikTok viewers, people started showing up over and over, and you develop this friendship and, awesome communication with certain guys. And, little they know, they help me out more than they'll ever know by just being there for me and let me have a few hours of escape, the real world issues, mental health issues. And, now we're banging on all cylinders. We're in a much better spot. And like I said, it's just awesome to be able to go back and do good for other people, as like, hey, thank you for what you did for me. This is my gift back to you. So.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's great that you have found a way to have like kind of outlet to, help you in your mental space. And I feel like that's kind of the same thing for me with podcasting. It's a way to, escape from everything around me, focus on what's in front of me and talk to the people in front of me and, stuff like that. So it is great, man. And I'm glad that you found something that, making you happy,
amazing.
man. And, when you mention these games, it does put smiles on people's faces, dude, because, that nostalgic thing is it's a way to connect with people. And it's like you hear like, oh, Mario Brothers. And it's like, almost like you, huh? Like a lot of people, like, oh, I
always tell people it's like my own personal time machine. When I go back and play Mario 3, I'm not just playing it to play it, but it hits the nostalgia button in my brain that releases dopamine. It puts me in a good mood. I can almost remember the way my bedroom was set up at that age when I first started playing it. I remember my Thundercat sheets. I remember I had this little bitty TV with the Nintendo on top of it, and the two controllers would like be in the way of the screen. But, it's just like you said, people can hear the music and it automatically takes you back to a time and place. And I have so many good memories associated with those games that just by hearing those sounds, it automatically puts me in a good mood.
Yeah. That's definitely a true statement because same for me, dude. And that's kind of, I think, what attracted me to you watching you too is, here going through one of the, a thing and you hear this, toot, 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 like, oh, hey, dude, what's that? But yeah, I love these, old school games, man, and they're a lot of fun. And no matter how old you are, it's a lot of fun to go back.
Absolutely. And play them. I always tell my viewers, I say these games are classics. These classics will never die if we keep playing them. Just like your favorite movie, just like your favorite album. You keep that vinyl spinning, that classic will never die. We keep playing these awesome games; they'll never die. We'll keep reintroducing them to the next generation and showing them how awesome it was when we were kids. So.
Yeah, and some of them will never understand the struggles that we had. They complain about lag and stuff. Well, we had to blow on our game sometime. We had to insert it a certain way and then make sure it was pushed all the way back. our struggles were a little different. Now, man, these games, dude, you buy them, you got to wait like 5 hours because it's got to download and do some update or something
That's
like
the worst.
that. It's
Whatever
crazy.
happened to just playing? Or
Yeah. The game, you know, it's like they just find ways to have struggles with the game no matter
how about
what.
this? 1989, 1990 era. We knew there was a new Mario game coming out, but we couldn't go Google it. Little did we know that over in Japan, they were already
Right.
playing Super Mario Brothers 3, my favorite game. How did we find out about Super Mario 3? The 1990 movie, The Wizard, starring Fred Savage. Remember that movie?
Yes.
Yeah. At
Yes,
the end,
I
they
do,
revealed
bro.
Super Mario Brothers 3. They showed the gameplay. They showed like the secret flute he got, you know, and we could not wait to get our hands on this.
Man, I tell you what, now you mean, you know, that's kind of why I started this whole Throwback Thursday segment is to one to kind of take a break away from the normal marine stories and stuff like that. And, you know, for two, it just brings smiles when you bring back old stuff. But I remember, dude, like definitely how it's not today, but there was so many commercials back when we were younger. And the commercials would get you so pumped up on these things, man, because you and even with the video games, like I remember, like to have a Nintendo was like a big deal. Everybody wanted a Nintendo when it came out. They started doing like game shows where they would have guys come and compete, you know, on the Nintendo, and it was, you know, and so everybody would just be totally into it. Like they'd have guys, you know, little competitions with different games for little times. They had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Paperboy, you know, all these little
Classics.
fun games, man. Yeah, I love it, dude. So here's what we're gonna go ahead and do, guys. We're gonna go through each week. We're gonna pick a console. So starting next week, we're gonna I guess we'll start off with Atari, and then we'll kind of go through all the different games there were and talk about the games, and then the next episode we'll go into Nintendo, and we'll just kind of the show would progress as we go through the different consoles. But hey, Jesse, I really appreciate your time,
Thank you so much for
man.
having me. I appreciate you
And
so
that-
much for reaching out. This has been an awesome time for me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this segment. It's a lot of fun. It's I'm smiling almost the whole time we're talking about it. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of fun. So I really look forward to Throwback Thursdays. So everybody just keep standing by. We'll just keep sending them out as we can pump them out every Thursday. So
All right, thanks so much for having me.
All right, brother.
Later.
We'll talk to you later, man.